we didn't live on a flat plane.
And you mentioned guys like Einstein and Newton earlier on as being part of the deception of what's going on. But there are many established and well-respected authors and researchers of the current age, of these contemporary times, that seem to be still, they are still firmly tied into the globe Earth model. I mean, two names that spring to mind for me straight away would be Graham Hancock and Jordan Maxwell. And I've heard both these guys talking about ancient texts, ancient civilizations, and, the mysteries of the universe, the nature of reality. And yet, from the language that they use, they're still clearly tied into the globe model way of thinking about things. If we are living on a flat plane, that would mean these guys and many others like them have been mistaken and duped for decades, despite immersing themselves in so much material and data and ancient texts and stuff. They still are missing this obvious point.
Yeah, they sure are. Absolutely, they're missing it. And I've always just been astonished at the fact that everyone else has missed syncretism. I just sit here in ecstasy and bliss daily through the syncretisms I get, and I just wonder how Graham Hancock missed it. Even Jordan Maxwell.
Yeah.
At least Jordan Maxwell is a humble, beautiful man who acknowledges that my syncretism is the best he has ever seen in his life, and he's studied everything, and he's put me on the top of his top 10 list of the greatest researchers now to research, on top of guys like Lord Pye, Maurice Cotterell, geniuses like this, Michael Tsarian, right on the top. Now, why? Because I didn't miss syncretism. I've been paying attention for 52 years. All I can say is all of these guys, all of these great researchers, all of them, they all missed syncretism.
We're not suggesting these guys are deliberately misleading people. We're just suggesting they've missed it. The point.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, I like Graham Hancock, by the way, and I love Jordan Maxwell, so I will never attack these guys.
Absolutely.
I will show them my love, and I'll say, guys, you got to get off that dunce ball. Get off the dunce ball. Doesn't exist, and you're going to be a real proper-looking idiot one day for supporting this demonic filth, because all the trouble and all the hate and all the wars and all the evil that is going on goes back to the globe. Rest assured, gravity. It's demon worship. It's not worship of the Creator. Demons are self-to-service, egregore, entity, creatures, beings. They do not care for us to give glory to the Creator. Only when we serve and give glory to the Creator can we be at peace and bliss, Sat Chitananda, forever, everlasting, unconditioned, unlimited, unqualified, with God. So I say to hell and to death with atheism and demonism, and let us bring back the true theology, geocentrism. Hallelujah.
The sun, we're taught through conventional education, is 93 million miles away. That's the figure we always get. It does seem a little bit inconceivable when you really think about it. 93 million miles is a hell of a distance to still be able to feel that heat. What would you say is a more accurate kind of revised figure for how far away we are actually from the sun?
A few hundred, maybe 1,000 or 2,000 miles. The sun's 32, 33 miles wide in diameter. This is where the 32 and 33 degrees of Freemasonry come in, and at times, probably at the Tropic of Cancer or at the equinoxes, the sun is around 3,300 miles, 3,300 miles high above the Earth. It gets much, much closer at the Tropic of Capricorn. I don't know how much, but it is a fact. You can tell, no matter which model you use, all the models tell you that the sun at perihelion is closer to the Earth at Capricorn, much closer than it is at Cancer. And so, where it is aphelion. And so, once you get the model correct and you get off this idiot Copernican, Keplerian crock and get your head in the right place, we will be able to dismantle this false temple, this falsehood of pseudoscience, and we will be able to bring everyone back to God, the Creator, to Godhead. and we can be in bliss forever. Intelligent, and we will never ever again suspend our intelligence for these service to self demons.
So a real big one then, is there space at all? Outer space as such, and can we go there, or is that all part of the illusion? I mean, I'm sure many people that even scoff at and reject the idea of a flat Earth do accept that NASA have constantly lied to us about their various space missions, and particularly the moon landings. And many people believe that it's not actually possible to go to the moon at all, let alone go out into space. So that throws out the International Space Station and satellites and all the rest of it. So presumably we are limited in terms of how far up we can go within this model.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This model, this universe is our universe, and we are the center of it, because wherever you are the center of the universe. But it is erroneous to suggest that it is the only one. God is not limited. Why are we limiting the Creator? You get these Christians that are flat earthers, and and they preach that the globe was invented by Satanist atheists, which it was, in order to make us atheists so that we don't give glory to the Creator, because we are the center of the universe and the only universe. No. Let's not be limiting. There's nowhere in the scriptures where it says this. Nowhere. In fact, the scriptures say that there are many, countless universes. We cannot count them. And they are all the center of their universes. And we will go there, and we will most probably not have to go to the material planes anymore, but we will go to the spiritual planets, where we'll have spiritual form and spiritual intelligence. So in this conditioned temporal world, we have 8 conditions. 5 are gross and 3 are subtle. They are the external potency of Krishna, the Creator. And so the 5 gross elements are earth, water, air, fire, ether, and the 3 subtle ones are material mind, material intelligence, and false ego. Now these have their spiritual counterparts. And so when we embrace the higher mind, the Krishna consciousness, Christ consciousness, we activate our higher consciousness, which consists of the 3 higher spiritual conditions, internal conditions of the Creator, which are ego, intelligence, mind in the spiritual form, and the other elements follow suit. And so this is why we are here to sublimate the lower and embrace the higher. And once we do, we will lose all the hocus pocus models. And so this is all I can say about the half-truthers out there who continue to stay on the fence, or well, not so much the fence. I can respect that, but the ones who, without doing research, are just sticking with the hocus pocus globe.
Yeah.
You are half-truthers, and you are doing harm to yourself, and you are supporting demon worship, and you are wrong, and you need to grow up and spiritualize your mind and close off that false ego, the material mind, and the material intelligence. This is foolishness with the Creator. And this is the difference. This is why all the beautiful spiritualized beings are on the flat earth. They are supporting it. They are seeing it. They can see it with their eyes. It's spiritually manifesting before them. The veil has been lifted. And these other ones have not had their veils lifted because they are too arrogant to acknowledge the Creator, that the Creator is Allah, or Krishna, or Jehovah. They don't want to acknowledge that one because they're Mayavadis, they're false teachers. They teach that we can go to the white light and we can be, they don't want to discuss the nature of the Creator. They believe that they are all that was and all that is and all that ever will be, and I am God and I am the white light, and blah, blah, blah. And these are all idiots, and they're too arrogant to acknowledge the Creator.
Yeah.
You see?
You touched on it briefly there, but just to get into the really profound spiritual implications of us living on a flat plane as opposed to a sphere. You know, we look at the sun, moon and planets and we see them as spheres. We're taught that they're spheres, which is why we're so familiar with the idea that we are too. We just think of all the planets and all these heavenly bodies as being spheres, and we imagine that we're just a part of that. But if the Earth is different, it has profound implications, because it means this place is special in creation. You know, we are the centre of everything, and therefore we as spirits that get manifested here in physicality, we must be special too, because we're a part of this place. And I know that skeptics will say it doesn't matter what shape the Earth is when there are bigger problems and issues around. There are other things we need to address, you know, and we can worry about what shape the bloody Earth is afterwards. But I know you would argue that it is actually of profound importance in terms of how we view ourselves and our place here. You know, it really does matter.
Absolutely it does matter. How dare you say such an offensive, stupid thing, I would say to them, because clearly all lies must be exposed, especially the bigger ones. This is the biggest one, and all the others hinge on it. So to say such a thing is offensive to the intelligence of the spiritualized beings and the ones who are advancing the truth movement today. These ones are discrediting the truth movement, contrary to what they say that the flat earthers are. They are dragging their heels, you know, because the evidence is out on the table. It's a done deal, case closed. You know, I rest my case with Tesla. Tesla says gravity is a crock, and relativity of Einstein, he thought Einstein was a monkey man with his relativity hocus pocus. So I rest my case with him. He was an intelligent that he could wipe the table with my intelligence, you know, 10 times over. So I don't have to argue. I've got Tesla, I've got other great people, you know, great scientists who don't believe, know that the Earth is a flat plane and a flat disk, and it's only, you know, benefiting and serving the elite classes, you know, that we are dragging our heels on this matter. I would suggest to these half-truthers, get on these videos, get on the information, study it, do your own research, you lazy bums, because you're dragging everyone else behind. And you're just a lazy, dumbass bums, and you're just mundane idiots. Call yourself truthers. You know, I'm gonna go after them all. I'm not gonna have any mercy on these idiots. I'm sorry, but they are dragging their heels, and they're disgraceful, absolutely disgraceful. I mean, just one evidence, like the evidence I gave. How can you have a target-shaped bullseye, North Pole time-lapse star trails if you are both rotating and orbiting at the same time? Think, for God's sakes. It's disgusting that you can't even think that one through. It's impossible that we are spinning or moving. Impossible, totally. Both movements cancel each other and cancel those images totally. And so, you know, what are we doing? We're arguing with kindergarten children that insist that Santa Claus came down the chimney because they heard it at school.
We know that the dark occult controllers of this place love offering little clues for those with eyes to see through their favourite tactic of placing the truth right there in plain sight. You know, things like predictive programming. This is an area that I get into myself big time in my public talks, and it forms a big part of the book that I've got coming out, because I'm really fascinated by this tactic whereby they seem to feel the need to convey to us the truth of what they're doing in encoded form, because they know that only a few will ever recognise and see it. But as far as they're concerned, they've alleviated the burden of karma that would ordinarily come down on them, because they've given us an opportunity to know by doing just that, placing the truth right there in plain sight. And with regard to the flat earth, I'm thinking about things like the Truman Show movie, for instance, with Jim Carrey, where his character is seen sailing off towards the horizon to try and escape this nightmare world of illusion that he's discovered he's living in, and he hits the side of this dome, and he realised that he's actually enclosed within this dome-like structure. And then you've got the Simpsons movie that came out a few years ago, where a giant dome is placed over the top of Springfield, and you know, everybody's trapped inside it and they're trying to work out how they can get out of it. And I'm just wondering if those two examples and many others like them are the controllers, letting us know, giving us an opportunity to know this truth about where we actually live, knowing that only a few will ever see it. What do you think about that?
Yeah, well, this is what confuses the half-truthers who are still buried in their indoctrination. You know, I've heard people say, "Oh, it's a psyop because the Freemasons are pushing," and you know, and the Jewish connection with the Freemasons. Of course, they would be pushing the flat Earth because it is Jewish. The Hebrew scriptures teach only a flat Earth. They don't teach heliocentrism, demonism. The scriptures are pure and true. And of course Christians are going to be saying, oh, we're the center of the universe and we're special and important and God created the flat earth. And so there are Christians teaching it too. There are Muslims. Google Muslims and flat earth and you'll see hundreds of them. Pastors, imams, teaching. The Quran specifically preaches that we have a absolutely 100% flat disc earth. There is no ball. That's hocus pocus. So, and so, you know, they will naively say that, ignorantly say that this proves that it's a psyop. The contrary is true. This shows that these people are starting to see the truth of their scriptures and they can't deny it. And the truth must come out. All things hidden will be revealed in the last hour. This is the last hour. This is meltdown, Armageddon, Gotterdammerung for the demons and the powers that be and the elite. They're running scared because now we're pointing right at them and we know where the source of all evil is. It's not the Bilderbergers, the Jews, the Vatican, the Jesuits, the Knights of Malta, blah, blah, blah. It's demons. We have an infestation of demons. And we have had since Aristotle, since the Iron Age began. And there was a parting way, and the materialists went one way, and the spiritualists went one way, and Rome closed the spiritualist Neoplatonic schools and blessed the Aristotelian buffoon materialist schools, and the whole world agrees with Aristotle that we are a speck of dust flying around insignificant Big Bang style, rock, spinning ball, hocus pocus buffoonery.
Yeah. The Richard Dawkins model.
Yeah, and so where's the creator? No glory to the intelligent design. These idiots steal worthy glory from its due source and take it for themselves. Richard Dawkins is an arrogant buffoon. He is a son of a silly woman. He's a stupid idiot. His ancestors are rolling in their graves thinking, how did we ever produce such a dick?
And I used to follow his work, you know, I'll put it out there, I'll be honest and say that I used to be an atheist. I spent many years quite bitterly adhering to that worldview, and I read books by Richard Dawkins and such, and I really did believe that there was nothing spiritual out there and that we were a kind of cosmic accident and there was nothing beyond death. But, you know, I did wake up, I looked at evidence that was all around me, I read widely, I considered and reflected and mused and was prepared to take on lots of different information from different sources, and I got to where I needed to be, which was an understanding that absolutely we are part of something much greater and we are aspects of consciousness and we're aspects of the divine and our lives do have purpose, and, you know, it's so much more than just some random cosmic accident. So people can change their viewpoints with the availability of new information, you know, new evidence, and coupled with intuition as well, that inner knowing. You know, I certainly got there.
Yeah, Richard Dawkins, or Dick Dawk, is truly just a mind-controlled demon worshipper teaching theories as fact and pseudoscience, and he is just a controlled opposition idiot, shill moron, Dick Dawk. So...
he's got a new book out, I see.
Sorry?
He's got a new book out.
Yeah, and he's got a new name, Dick Dawk.
Dick Dawk, yeah.
Yeah, and I will make that famous for the rest of eternity. Dick Dawk, the scam, sham, idiot, shameful, disgraceful being who is a disgrace to humanity and to pigs and goats and donkeys and all kinds of beasts, creepy, crawly beasts. He's an idiot.
You won't be at his next dinner party then?
No, and I know many people are going to send him this video, and I'm going to say, hello, Richard. I'm Santos Bonacci, and welcome to Syncretism and to the Creator. And goodbye with your demons, you dumb dog. Thank
Yes.
you. I love him because I love everybody, but he's a dumbass, and I really want that message to get to him. Shut up. Burn your books, you idiot. One day there'll be Richard Dawkins' books burnings, and people will be laughing at the fact that they ever spent 1 cent for these idiot books. Freemasonic, controlled demolition, idiot, demon, stupidity.
Actually, he's only a few miles from where I am now, because I live near Oxford, and he's part of the University of Oxford. I'm happy to say I'm not connected to the university in any way. Never was connected to Oxford Academia. I just happen to live here. But he's just up the road.
Well, I encourage every listener, please send DeGrasse and Dawkins, Dick Dawk, a copy of this, please. Please do the world a favour. Get these idiots to shut the F up forever.
And really, this divide that we've got in the so-called truth movement, where you've got people tearing chunks off each other and arguing and calling each other dipshits and fuckwits all over YouTube threads and Facebook threads all day long, is exactly what the controllers want, isn't it? They want divisiveness. They don't want any kind of unity in terms of people that can see the lies that are happening in the world. They want one camp arguing with another over one point or another. And it seems with this whole subject area, they've really got people anything but unifying and coming together and trying to address the problems that we all face. So they must be having a good old laugh at a job well done in terms of the way these different camps argue with each other all day long, don't you think?
Yeah, well, it's natural to do that, and especially when there are shills and agents infiltrating to cause that. But I'm here to change that. I'm going to reach out to all the geocentric flat earthers to join together and band together as one against demon worship, and support me, even if you don't like me. Support syncretism. Syncretism's the answer to divide and conquer, guys. There's no other way. It's syncretism. Support each other. Let's band together and let's make a claim, a lawful claim against the institutionalized system, and let's make them bring proof of their claim that gravity, relativity, the globe, Big Bang, the Hegelian dialectic, gravity, Darwinian monkey man evolution have any grounds in reality and evidence and fact at all. Where's the proof? So I'm reaching out to all the intelligent, lawful type ones that know how to file claims in courts, and let's go to the Vatican with a claim, guys. Join me. I'll do it. Support me. Let's fund a group of 10 or 20 guys to write up a document and write up and ask them, where's the evidence for this monkey man Einsteinian relativity? Where's the hocus pocus gravity you talk about? Give us proof of it. We can prove magnetism and electricity with simple tests. A little kid can do that. But how can they prove gravity, the idiots? So why don't we stop it, put an end to this demon worship and pimpocracy and all of this hate and killing and wars and military-industrial complex and vaccinating, poisoning our children and chemtrailing and fluoride in the water to make our brains retarded. Poisons everywhere, poison everywhere by these elite criminal demons. Let's get together. I'm reaching out. I am reaching out. Let's band together and let's go out after the demons and vanquish them from this plane. And we can be happy. We can have music and salsa dance all day long. We don't have to go to jobs. We can do work instead, good alchemical work, sublimating our souls and bringing them to ascend to the heavens to be with Krishna and Radharani forever in virtues and dignity and glory and honor and respect for human life and for all life and bliss and Sat Chitananda and glory forever, unconditioned, unqualified, unlimited, immortal, omnipresent, omniscient.
Santos, do you want to just remind people where they can find your work online? You're all about syncretism. I think you've got a new blog site now, is that right?
I'm on faceuni.com, that is social media, facebook.com, of course. I'm on TSU, social media, Twitter now. Someone's helping me with Twitter. Universaltruthschool.com is my website. One word, universaltruthschool.com. My free presentation channels is YouTube. One word, Mr. Astrotheology, MR Astrotheology. And there you can enjoy syncretism and be freed and give glory to the Creator and to your own creatorship and to your own divinity and vanquish demonism forever.
And do you still travel and tour around doing lectures, or do you pretty much stay where you are now?
No, I'll just stay here. I'm happy to stay put. I want to try and attract people to me who will help me write a book and make websites and create astrological syncretism websites, the best astrology reading sites ever. I want to make a syncretism documentary based on geocentrism. I've got a lot of projects. I need so much help, and I'm trying to attract that through good hoping and intent, and hopefully I can reach out more and make more good products.
Well, it's been a fascinating conversation today, brother. Thanks for coming on. I certainly think this conversation will cause a lot of people to do some deep thinking, hopefully do some further research. So, yeah, there's a lot of value to it. Thanks for coming on today. I'm glad we did this.
This is just a vibration. I'm picking up vibration. I'm picking up vibration. I'm picking up